Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting on this November 12th, 2025. We are getting very, very close to Thanksgiving, aren't we? You know, it's like time just never stops, does it? Just the next thing. Prior to officially starting our meetings, we always ask local clergy if they would come and lead us in prayer. This morning, we have one of those people who is dedicated to this purpose, and this is Pastor David Tennant. He is from the Methodist Church. David, thanks for being here this morning. And by all means, podium is yours for this purpose.
Well, thank you so much. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I'm reminded, and to remind all of us, that your Son in most of the gospel said he came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. To take that lesson, if I could be so bold as to extend Veterans Day to another day, and actually extending it to a month wouldn't be enough, but the lesson of service from our veterans who served selflessly, we need to take that lesson as well into our daily lives and to serve selflessly. How different would our world be if we were to serve others rather than expecting to be served? Fathers, that we would use your Son's example in this day to serve others, and for the commissioners in their service to the people of this county. Father, in this meeting, give them wisdom, give them discernment, give them courage, that their decisions would be your decisions. And again, that all of us in this day would seek to serve others rather than to be served. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And prior to officially starting our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, I would just ask, is anyone in this room served in the armed services of the United States? If you have, raise your hand. We have one. Thank you. Thanks for your service. Would you do the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we'll get started with our official meeting. Roll call has been done. We are at letter B, approval of regular session minutes of 11/3/2025. Board, you've had these early, had the opportunity to review them. Are there any need for revisions?
None.
Then I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes from 11/3/2025.
I'll make the motion to approve. I will second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Letter C, we have a presentation, Robin Sizemore, County Apiarist, annual update.
Good morning, Robin.
Hello, Commissioners.
Hello, how are you?
I hope you've had a good year.
Had a great one.
I just have a short little discussion. As you know, this was my first year, 2025, as the appointed apiary inspector. We have about 180 registered apiaries in Clermont County, which an apiary is any location where at least one beehive is kept or a colony. I managed to work my way through 100 apiaries this year, and I managed to inspect over 500 colonies.
Wow.
So it was a very productive year, I felt like. Maybe not quite as much as Jeff Harris, but he had a lot more experience than I did. So I was happy with those numbers. In Clermont County, our beekeepers range in age from 4-H'ers and beginner beekeepers, even retirees just getting started. We also have an abundance of experienced beekeepers with 10 or more years of experience, which, you know, those people, those men and women really have a lot of experience and really know bees well. I feel like every hive I open this year, I'm learning more and more. So we have a relatively healthy beekeeping, relatively healthy colonies in this county. There were only a few outliers that were infested with either hive beetles or, what we call dead outs, is a hive that had perished and then had been taken over with secondary problems like hive beetles or wax moths. So not too many in the county. And then, of course, our number one is the Varroa destructor, which, we're always working on trying to exterminate that. I'm not sure if that'll ever happen, but we treat our hives and try to maintain healthy populations to combat that pathogen. So I intend, if I'm appointed again for 2026, which I hope I am, I really enjoyed the position, to continue educating our beekeepers and advising them as well as continuing my own education about bees and sharing that knowledge with, well, basically anyone that'll listen. So stand still for 5 minutes. We can talk about bees, So other than that, is there any other questions for the commissioners?
Just one question.
Yes.
I know that some legislation came out last year that had a lot of the beekeepers associations. Could you just talk about that? Yeah, I think what they tried to do was charge additional $50. What?
Well, okay. So right now, as the legislation was when I was appointed, if you wanted to register beehives, well, everyone should legally in Ohio, if it's $5 per apiary. They've changed that to be free for most beekeepers. The only thing that has changed is that if you're a queen producer, which I think we have less than 20 of those in the counties, it would change it to where it was $50 per year.
Okay.
But most people that produce queens are already paying close to that because most beekeepers have multiple aviaries or locations that they keep colonies anyway. So it wasn't a huge change. And making it free to everyone to register was supposed to be an encouragement to get more people to register. So we'll see if that works. I'm not sure why everybody was, $50 is more, but apples to apples, it really wasn't that much more. But people were upset about that, but I guess people are upset about anything.
Did it seem to kind of go away after some period of time?
It looks like, from what I'm understanding with my discussion with the state apiarist, it wouldn't even be $50 per apiary. It would be $50 to the name of the queen producer. So, and then another thing that people were upset about was that they were trying to get people to register on like an online app that would show the location of hives, which is kind of what the registration is for now anyway for pesticide. When pesticides are spread, people that are spreading pesticides are supposed to look at that data center or whatever you want to call it to know where hives are so that they're not spraying pesticides in the areas of bees, but that doesn't always happen. So it's just towards that. So I'm not sure. I need to talk to a state apiarist and see exactly what is going on for the coming year. So.
And then for those that watch this particular broadcast or read the minutes, there are probably people that want to know, why is it so important that you have bees and beekeepers? Why is that so important to the crops that people actually raise?
Yeah. So, I've seen and read, and probably a lot of people have too, that, without bees, there's no food, and that is so true to a certain extent because so many food crops depend on pollination. And not only our domesticated or semi-domesticated honeybees aid in that pollination process, but also all of our native bees too. And it's wonderful to see so many people planting pollinator gardens and doing things to not just keep the European honeybees, but also to draw in those native bees, which are all a part of the pollination process, which is how our food is produced and made, so.
And then we have to understand that species that are eradicated from people's yards in certain times a year may be species that bees really need to collect on.
I know a lot of people like to keep a really beautiful manicured lawn in the spring and they want to eradicate their dandelions. But, just one example, a dandelion is such an important early food source to our honeybees and other pollinators because it's one of the first flowers that bloom and produce pollen and a little bit of nectar for our honeybees. Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
And good for winemaking.
Yeah, and our dandelion wine. So.
And the actual honey collection has all kinds of different tastes and different titles that people put on it.
Yeah. Every honey varietal, they're called, is different and tastes different, even from an apiary to an apiary, just a few miles away, because those bees, that colony of bees has collected nectar from slightly different food sources than your neighbor's bees. So it's all cool. Possible, different colors and different tastes. So,
Nice.
So thanks for being so educated and so well versed when it comes to this particular subject. We're absolutely thrilled that you do the job that you do.
I appreciate it. Thank
You
you.
bet. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We will move to letter D. Letter D is public participation. Anyone here today that would like to participate with the public? Has you what? By all means, come on up to the podium. Tell us who you are and where you live. And I have to read a statement that just says during this time, the board doesn't answer questions or engage in debate. However, the board members can ask a question if they deem necessary. The public may comment about the matter, and it has to be within the purview of the county commissioner's responsibilities. The commissioners are not expected to comment, and each speaker will be recognized by the president, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak. And so you've already been recognized, so tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Mark Williams. I live on Dorado Court in Amelia, close to you, Bonnie.
Yes, you do.
And I came to talk about a couple of things. One of them, and I've been to the trustees, the Pierce Township trustees, but it's the intersection at White Oak and 125, which, and has gotten much worse, especially since they placed the Kroger store just east of that. And that intersection is deadly. Just had a school bus accident there about 2 weeks ago. And I do know that ODOT has put some plans, given some plans to the police department. Pierce Township probably should be someplace with the county, which would be you all. But we need to get that intersection under control. I mean, it's just a real mess. And there's some things that they've said that I wouldn't care for, but you know what? I'm willing to do anything to get that intersection under control. So I don't know what you all can do, but I do know that the trustees talk about talking to the commissioners to get it under control. So I'm just here to make the public's awareness of it a little more. And I know that anybody that lives in that area is very aware. People that don't even live there say, oh, you live next to that horrible intersection. And yes, we do. So anyway, I don't know what you can say or do, I guess, but you can at least start to, I would think, look into it.
Commissioner, can I address this?
Absolutely.
Years back and it's been several years when I was a trustee, we did ask, the trustees at that time did ask for a study. We had ODOT, we had someone from the state. We all convened at that lovely intersection because running Life Squad, many accidents I, living right down the street, had first responded to. We were told at that time that there were not enough accidents to warrant, but anyone that lives in that area, you got cars coming from 5 different directions trying to turn in there. It is a horrible, horrible intersection.
Their first study of that intersection was done just as COVID started.
No, there was one way before COVID.
Well, yes, that was back when they were going to put it equal to Bristol or bring the intersection down to Bristol Lake. But then after that, you know, I've been on ODOT myself, and they did one right as COVID started. And they said, there's not enough traffic there. I said, well, hell, there's nobody's on the road.
There you go.
So they redid it and found out that, oh, you know, they've got a real problem. Now they've given some ideas of what they can do. And I think, you know, somebody in leadership needs to follow through and make sure those ideas are taken care of.
One of them was to shut off
Yes.
coming out and going down past where the water tower is and coming out down that way and connecting with that other street.
White Oak. Right?
Yeah. So
And wouldn't make me tickled, but you know what? I'm willing to do anything to make that, you know, I got kids, grandkids, and you don't want somebody killed there.
for people that don't know, you've got cars coming in every direction. You're trying to turn in, they're trying to pull. It's a horrible intersection. I
talking
agree with
Super
you.
Sam's?
Super Sam's, yes.
So, yeah, Super
Okay.
Sam's.
Lewis 125 and White Oak.
It is. It's just horrid.
Does that have a light at that intersection?
No.
No light. Okay. Well,
And
we,
then
Check
one
with the
other
engineer.
question I had, and it's because I'm not really well versed in county politics and things, but it seems to me funny that with all the building in Clermont County, that we have school tax, police tax. Where's all the money from all these new neighborhoods that, I mean, there's several within spitting distance of where I live. Where's all their money going? And I know I hear two words, tax abatement. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I don't know that the public knows exactly what it means. But I do know that, you can only tax somebody so far, and then they're going to really start to revolt. And that would be me. I'd like to be able to stay in the house that I paid for, and not be taxed out of it. So,
You talk about police levies and things. Understand, most people don't realize when a levy goes on, you only collect what that levy went on for. It doesn't matter how many more houses are built. Your taxes will just lower a little bit. You never get more than what that levy went on the ballot for. You never collect more than that.
well, I know my taxes will go up because of the last police levy, and they also went up on the last school levy, and then they had the nerve, but to come back with another huge levy. Two examples. I mean, they built that school for free. That's one example of what we were told. But another example is when Officer Brewer was killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. We sat out there on 125 and just saw one huge display of power and equipment and force. And you know what? And I know what was outside, but I know what was within Clermont County. And, you've got, we have Pierce Township, but then we also have the county police and we have the state police. And I'm not sure that we're doing a great job of making all those work together so that we need so much. That's my thought, and I would like to know what a tax abatement is.
well, I know you're out of time, but I'll tell you what, we'll address that real quick. Tax abatement is where taxes are owed on a piece of property and an abatement structure is set up. That can be some of the things you talked about. It can be a TIF. It can be a CRA. It can be an enterprise zone, lots of different things that actually draft that tax money away from that development into the governmental agency that actually issued that tax abatement. So the government agency is still paid those taxes, but those taxes, unless they designate it specifically, aren't relayed to the school, the fire departments, the EMS departments, the library, the senior services, the veteran services. Those kind of agencies are starved from that money. So that's what people usually reference as a tax abatement. That kind of,
I think we ought to quit giving them out so freely.
you would be preaching to the choir, especially here at
Who gives
here at
them
our
out?
diocese. Well, Clermont County can abate taxes.
Well, who's Clermont
Townships
County?
townships use the TIF process and other abatement processes. Villages use the CRA process. I can only give you numbers from a few years ago, but I can tell you that out of the tax base here in the state of Ohio, $5.3 billion, with a B, is abated by TIF districts only. in the state every year. And so when people talk about building your tax base, if it weren't for these abatements and TIF structures, there would be lots of money to run this state and lots of money to run local governments. No question.
So who undoes those?
The legislators.
So Columbus.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Anyone else? Public participation? I'll close public participation and we will move on. Next up is letter E. It's our consent agenda. Board, you've had the consent agenda early, had the opportunity to review it. Are there any items that need to be removed for further conversation? Okay, then I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we will move to F, the non-consent agenda. I believe that starts on 6, doesn't it?
8.
8, wow.
Did we want to move public, staff reports up maybe so they could go back to work?
Yeah, we can do that, no
Okay.
problem. We'll go ahead and move I up for county staff and elected official discussions. Dorothy Meier is here. She's the Director of County Job and Family Services and SNAP Services update. Good to see you, Dottie.
Hello, commissioners. Thank you again for allowing us to join you and to provide an update in regards to what's going on with the federal, state, and local level in regards to SNAP benefits and funding. As Commissioner Painter indicated, I'm Dottie Meier. I'm the Director of Job and Family Services here in Clermont County. And with me is Paige Sheridan. She is the program administrator for our OMJ department, but has been coordinating the efforts as far as collaboration with the pantries, getting the word out and collaborating with our county staff, Ms. Miller, in regards to updating the community on what's happening. So just as an update, and I have to get the technology up here, sorry. We have included updates to the prior presentations that we've given just so that everyone has the information we've given in the past and also the new information. We have a timeline of events that have occurred with some updates. Last time we were here, we talked a little bit about the announcement from Governor DeWine, who indicated that they were going to be increasing the benefits that were given to a certain percentage, a very small percentage of the SNAP recipients to help that population of individuals. My understanding is that has been done. Those have been funded, but as we discussed last week, that is for a very small percentage of the individuals that receive SNAP benefits in Ohio. Welcome, and we're glad for it for that population of individuals, but it also doesn't reach the far majority of the individuals that receive and need that funding. So as just a recap briefly in regards to our timeline, on November 1st, we all know that SNAP benefits were paused due to the government shutdown. And the first Ohioans were actually officially impacted on November the 2nd due to Ohio being a staggered issuing state. Then on November 4th and 5th, the USDA instructed states to offer reduced benefit amounts. That was last week. And I think it was around 65% is what the suggested amount was for the reduced. On November 6th, the District Court of Rhode Island directed to the Department of Agriculture to issue full benefit amounts in November. Ohio announced a plan to do so on November the 7th. Now, at the same time that this is happening with those decisions and with those orders, we had that first issuance of payment out of the order from Governor DeWine in regards to OWF recipients. On November 8th, however, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a temporary order to block full SNAP benefits that came out of that November the 6th district court ordering. And they then on November the 10th, the Senate test voted for legislative plan to end the government shutdown. Yay.
Okay.
ODJFS issued guidance to the agencies indicating that they need to start releasing that portion of SNAP that was ordered back on November the 4th and the 5th. But the subsequent decisions by the United States Supreme Court in regards to pausing the order from the district court to pause the full SNAP benefits caused confusion amongst the states as to whether or not they were allowed to give out the partial that was part of another order. So there have been some states that have released that partial funding. There have been some states that have not, because they're awaiting further instruction in regards to what to do on those. Ohio is one of those states. What it is that whether or not they release that funding that's given to them, because they don't know, we're kind of in a limbo right now. So that's where we stand right this moment, is that as of right this moment, Ohio is still waiting on guidance on whether or not we should release that partial payment of 65%. We know that we're on a pause for the full. We're not allowed to distribute the full amount. But we are technically allowed to release that 65%. But we have to await the Ohio legislature to make that decision. So on November 11th, yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court extended that temporary pause on the full benefit release. So they're still in the court system in regards to that full benefit release, but there's still not been any guidance in regards to that partial that was asked for back on November the 4th and the 5th. So that's where we are in this timeline of events right now. We are still continuing with our efforts locally to support the individuals as far as to give them updates in regards to the resources where they can get funded, because as of right this moment that I stand before you and Paige stands before you, that money has not been added to the local residents of Clermont County on their cards. So we will continue in those efforts until we get further guidance, and really even beyond that, because what we know, and Paige will address this in her portion of the presentation, is that the run on the pantries, local pantries, has been so great that their resources have been really thinned. And therefore, so even after the SNAP benefits come back online and everything's back to where we want them to be, there's still going to be a need to replenish those resources. So we will continue that. In addition to that, as Paige will explain, we want to keep these connections open to be able to have even a quicker response. I think our response was very quick in this county, and we appreciate your support in those efforts, but we want to have even a better response time in case something like this happens in the future, or some other type of crisis is implemented in the county. So as a reminder, Ohio Public Assistance continues to work. We continue to process those SNAP applications so that everything's in place for when the government does open back up and they start releasing funds so that everyone can go ahead and get those. Our website is continually updated with information on resources for individuals, and our phone lines remain open as well. Our staff and our public assistance division has been extremely well timed in regards to responding to the calls, getting to the calls, reducing wait times. So that's definitely a accomplishment for our department. So I will then turn it over to Paige, and she will follow up in regards to the many meetings that we've had in regards to the collaboration.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So over the last couple of weeks, we've been meeting with the local food pantries, several of them. Last week, our meeting almost doubled in the amount of attendees. So we are getting the word out, which is very exciting. We completed our first distribution of food to a local food pantry on Thursday of last week, the morning of our meeting. And then we have our next recipient of the benefits of the food that we are collecting in our food drives lined up, and they'll be getting them this week. We are also, we got some donations of personal care supplies, like personal hygiene items. We're going to be giving those to IPM for right now. And then feminine hygiene products we're going to be sending to Impacting Tomorrow in Milford for their Carry Her program. We are meeting weekly, as I mentioned, and we are going to be kind of triaging as we go who needs what, who is in most need this week, so that we can meet the needs of the food pantries in our area to continue serving the people of Clermont County. The food delivery logistics, everything went smoothly with our first delivery, so we are going to continue doing that. Thank you so much. Let me take a moment to thank everybody who's donated, who's been a part of these drives, who's given us permission to put this on. Thank you, commissioners, because we collected over 13 boxes of food last week to give out to the local pantries, which then went on to serve, the families that are struggling. So thank you again, anybody who has donated. We will continue this collaboration at least until the government shutdown, in terms of until that shutdown is over in terms of collecting donations. And then afterward, we will continue to meet with the local food pantries to keep this collaboration going in case it should ever be needed in the future. And
Great work, both of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So you're still taking in food donations from anyone who wants to take it over to Job and Family Services, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you guys are housing that and making sure that it gets distributed when we're online and the pantry say what they need. And that's a wonderful, wonderful coordination. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for all that you do. Any other elected officials, staff discussion? Then we will move on with our non-consent agenda. Item number 14 is a recommendation that the Board of Commissioners adopt Resolution 172-25 to approve payment to vendors in total amount of $4,907,901.33 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated November 12th, 2025. BCC directed prepaid invoice reports and the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on 11/10/2025, and further authorizing county auditor to issue warrants pursuant to and compliance with Section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 15.
Morning.
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 I'm Sergeant Newsom from the jail. It's a recommendation to execute the GSA Federal Supply Schedule Proposal Rider between the Board of Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and Train US Incorporated 10300 Springfield Pike, Cincinnati, Ohio 45215, a sole source provider for the provision of the chiller unit and chiller panel control for an amount not to exceed $279,877 in compliance with the terms and conditions of the proposal and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or clarification? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sergeant. Item number 16.
Andy Mays, Clermont Transportation Connection. Item 16, recommendation to adopt Resolution 173-25, resolving to authorize Thomas J. Igo, County Administrator, to execute the grant contract date extension, contract numbers TUTP-0067, GRF 231, 232, and TUTP-0067, GRU-241, between the Clermont County Board of Commissioners and the State of Ohio Department of Transportation, Office of Transit, Columbus, Ohio, for the contract renewal extension of Ohio State fiscal year 23 and 24, Ohio Urban Transit Program, in the amount of $357,081 to complete invoices and drawdowns on purchases.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 16. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
I will second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation?
No.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 17.
Item 17, Recommendation to adopt Resolution 174-25 to authorize Andrew Mays, Director, Clermont Transportation Connection, to file an application on behalf of the Clermont County Board of Commissioners with the Ohio Department of Transportation, Columbus, Ohio, for funding under the Ohio Transit Partnership Program for state fiscal year 2027, requesting $975,000 to be used as a 20% state match to 80% federal funds for operating expenses supporting the continued operation and delivery of public transit services to Clermont County residents.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
And moved in second. Any further conversation? Roll call again.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Andy. Item number 18.
Morning.
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 Kara Swartz, I'm your kennel administrator over at the animal shelter. Item number 18 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 176-25, resolving to accept the unrestricted monetary donations made from July 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2025, which were deposited in the county treasury and into the dog and kennel fund as outlined in the attached journal summary, and to accept the donations of food and supplies pursuant to section 9.20 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Then moved in second. Any further conversation or discussion?
No.
Do you know what the monetary donations were right off?
Not off the top of my head. No.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
How is the kennel going over there, Kara?
What's going on? I was going to ask if you had any questions. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're smack in the middle of two of our construction projects. So industrial washer dryer dishwasher should be done by the beginning of next month. And then still waiting on the final schedule for the outdoor kennel expansion, but that's in the works. They're out there pouring concrete, doing all the fun stuff. But a couple fun events going on towards the end of the month. We have a public alumni, if you've adopted dogs in the past 2 years, to come and do pictures with Santa on the 29th. So that'll be really fun if people come out to that. And Dogs Playing for Life, which I've mentioned here before when it got approved, is December 7th through 9th. So that's a really important training that we'll focus on getting dogs out into playgroup every day and doing more training for the staff and volunteers to be able to be a part of that. So we've invited some local rescue and shelter partners to come observe that training because it isn't something that happens every day. The League for Animal Welfare was invited, as well as Brown County Humane Society. Halo Behavior was invited, and some of the other municipal shelters around here as well.
Very nice.
And how many guests do we have at the shelter today?
We have 35 right
Okay.
now. So the reduced adoption fees really helped last month. So we appreciate that.
Fantastic. We were glad to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further conversation?
No.
Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 19.
Item number 19, we've seen before. So it's a recommendation to amend the reappointment of the following individual to serve on the Clermont County Public Library Board of Trustees for the corrected term outlined below pursuant to section 3375.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. And the reappointment is Edwin Humphrey, and the term is now 1/1/2026 through 12/31/2029. It's his second full term.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 19. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
And moved in second. Any conversation? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 20.
And again, this is a recommendation to amend the reappointment of the following individuals to serve on the Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities for the corrected term outlined below pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Chapter 5126. And that would be David Thaman, Jeffrey Weir, and Mary Jane West, who will all serve third full terms of 1/1/2026 through 12/31/2029.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 20. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
And moved in second. Anything further? Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 21.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jamie Tanner, Office of Management and Budget. Item number 21 is a recommendation to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 151-24 for calendar year 2025. These are just a couple supplementals to realign year-end shortages for fringes and salaries. The first one, the county coroner, $3,000 for fringe benefits. Treasurer delinquent tax department, $5,100 for fringe benefits. The admin building mailroom, $30 for regular salary. DJFS human resources, $80 for regular salary. And admin building mailroom, $6 for fringe benefits.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 21. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Anything further? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our non-consent agenda. Ralph, are there any additions to the agenda this time?
I actually have a clarification. Andy, if you'd like to come up. Andy is saying that on his item, which was item number 17, that actually is a 50% state match to a 50% federal funds. And if you'd like to explain.
Sure. With operating expenses, which is what this grant would be for, it's a 50-50 match. All other grants are an 80-20 match. So I think when this was written, there was some confusion. It should have been 50-50 instead of 80-20.
Okay.
So we probably need to fix this.
So I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion that we resend item number 17, which is a recommendation, I believe, number 174-25.
Yeah.
And I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make the motion to rescind. Second that.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, and now we'll amend item number 17. I'll make a recommendation that we adopt 174-25 with all of the same requirements as before, except instead of a 20/80 federal funds match, it will be a 50-50 match. Is that correct?
With
Okay.
state and federal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'd ask for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Anything further? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes,
Thank you, board.
thank you.
I apologize for
Good eye.
Look, it was a good eye. If we could all keep all the numbers straight, we wouldn't need all the staff that we have, right?
Or the years.
Yep, you guys,
Years.
we always catch it. Might take a little time. Sometimes this quick. That's couldn't be any easier. And we have no problem doing it. Well, that concludes our non-consent. Gail, talk about I know there's an MOU somewhere are we gonna do that next week?
MOU for the sheriff's office for
For
the
the criminal
safe
lab.
unit.
Mhm.
You know what? They're working on it right now. They have it with the county prosecutors
Okay.
and they're trying to get all of it together in a nice package to present to us. So it's coming.
Okay.
Okay?
Didn't want that to be outstanding and not gets the.
No, it will be taken care of. They have to get a few more signatures.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so if there are no additions to the agenda, I'll move to item H. Requesting an executive session in accordance with section 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or more public employees and to confer with the attorney for the board concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we will move to executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. Thanks for being in attendance today. We have returned from executive session. There were no actions taken and no decisions made. We will move on with the rest of our agenda. We have already been through item I. We'll move on to J. Unless there are county elected officials, any discussion?
No, sir.
We had Dottie in. We were glad to get her here and hear about SNAP benefits. We'll move to letter J, member comments. Members, any comments today? I know one that's on my mind is that what's going to happen in today, is there going to be a vote today to open the government? I guess they're right on top of it, right? Everybody's been watching that at home.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're right there.
Hope we
I
get
heard
there.
this morning on the news that the one channel said that they were sure there would be a vote. So
Mhm.
hopefully there's enough that are smart enough to open it up and get these benefits going to the people that are needing it badly.
Well, if you've been watching the news, it's very, very difficult how, the wheels turn in Washington to get something like this done. Always before I understand that continuing resolutions were always about clean bill, that they weren't injected with wants and needs of, partisan politics, and so hopefully, calmer minds and, prevail today. And, by the end of the day, they approve a clean resolution that lets the concerns like SNAP benefits go to the wayside, and federal transportation dollars open up, and how about airplane transportation throughout the world. I know they talk about that you're going to have to reschedule all those flights. So hopefully things happen today, and it becomes. I just wanted to talk for a second about veteran celebrations around Clermont County. The 11th was Veterans Day, and some of those celebrations were rather cold. We'll just say that. For those that I know, Commissioner Corcoran, you ventured out for the parade.
Well, Ursula and Wade Grabowski and I marched in the parade, carried the American 250 Happy Birthday banner. There were a lot of events going on all weekend. Got to attend some of them. They were fabulous. Always it rains, though. I don't understand that. It always rains.
It has to.
And then, but another side note, Ursula, you've been in communication with TQL, and they are going to be lighting their facility for in the green light, and along with FC Cincinnati. So people may think it's more of a Christmas event, but anyway, at least they're cooperating, and our building's all for, getting the green light out there in recognition of everyone. So
You bet.
it's
An
nice.
Operation Green Light.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor across the street, my house is all lit up in green,
Oh.
and they have 3 boys. And the 3 boys, she had no idea what Operation Green Light was. So she called my wife, and Carla took her phone call, and she was like, "The boys love your Christmas lights." So
Well, now you don't have to change those. Just add the red.
Carla,
Okay.
Carla had to explain to her what those green lights mean at this
Aw.
particular time of year. And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll make sure that they know, but they thought that we just put up some green Christmas lights.
That's cute.
So I thought that was pretty cute.
The Clermont County Library, we're
Yes.
not sure if they can actually make it happen this year because we didn't think to ask them about this.
Of course.
We're already into November, but next year I know they will too.
Very
So
nice.
We're getting the word out.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good. Good.
One thing, Commissioner, we could mention the dedication to the mural on the Veterans Museum down in New Richmond today at 3:00. It's probably my favorite one of all. I've never seen
It is.
anything look so, it looks like you took a picture and put it on that man. Was it a man that painted that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Unbelievable artist.
And Commissioner Corcoran, even though we're going to go down and enjoy that work today, and I know there are many people that do that. Thanks for heading up American 250. Thanks for doing what you do.
Well,
That's going to come to real fruition here in 26. So
well, with the big help of Ursula Miller and David coming out and taking all the pictures. And also, we need to talk about the art project that's part of the American 250. And Ursula, all of us got the privilege of meeting all the educators, and it was wonderful, the art teachers from all around the county. So we now have 4 schools that have already signed up to participate. And the winner, I guess, from each school will be then displayed at UC Clermont, has offered us to be able to have a whole art project there for American 250. It'll be real interesting to see what these children come up with,
You bet.
you know,
You
but,
bet.
And the seniors as well.
and the seniors, yes.
The senior
Yeah.
services are participating
Yeah.
as well. They have an art class and a quilting class. And so
Right.
they're both gonna be doing,
Uh-huh.
And you sent out notice today that we're going to be down in New Richmond at 3:00 for that next one. And as we roll through each one of the areas, like Williamsburg, I believe is next, is that correct? That will be showcasing each one of them, so everybody knows, you know, that all the townships, everyone is participating.
You bet.
Great, thank
And
you.
Commissioner Batchelor, thanks for your work on Veterans Village yesterday at the memorial there at the helicopter park. One of the veterans walked up to me, cold, had to get really, really close because of hearing. And he asked me, it's like, tell me what's going on with Veterans Village and are we still doing that? So if you just want to talk about the change in location.
Yes, it is now going to be in Monroe Township, right on 125, which I mentioned last week, for the convenience for these veterans of being closer in than in the Franklin Township where it was originally thought to be built. To me, it's a much better location for all of the amenities and everything that they will need. And even closer transportation to be able to get to some of these areas. So it's going to get started sometime early spring and be 19 residents that will be available for these homeless or some living in substandard conditions to house. Looking forward to getting that shovel in that dirt and getting it started.
Glad to do that. And just again, reiterating, commissioners, we are an arm of the state when it comes to ORC requirements as far as being a management group over county activities and the things we do as Clermont here for Clermont County. But however, commissioners are allowed to have their own portfolio assignments and each of us have those. And those are the things that you do in your other time when you're not, here and paying the bills and doing the requirements of the county. So thanks for what you do.
Let me just make one other statement. When this started out, we said 28. Well, as the 3 years went on, costs rose. So I'm still out there meeting with people, businesses. We're short. We can't build 28 at this time, but it's still on the books that's what we want to do. So we're going to start with 19, and as monies keep coming in, we'll add another. So
And you
anybody
have acreage out there to do it.
we
right?
have the acreage to add, yes. So anybody wants to send a little check our way, we're more than happy to take it and make more available to house these veterans.
You bet. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I would ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting today.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Thank you for being here today in our meeting on this November 12th, 2025. We hope through these discussions and the items that have been addressed today that you've learned something about Clermont County and that you might want to plug in to make this a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you for being here today.